Hey guys, so this one we're going to be talking about the American that was deported. Garcia is his last name, and we're going to be looking at all of the viewpoints and how un-American this is, because we shouldn't be deporting our own. But I wanted you guys to see just how pissed off these folks are in Idaho. And Senator Chuck Grassley got an earful from his constituents. Check this out.
As a border security?
Yes. I believe very strongly in my Christian faith. I preach on Sundays, and I believe very strongly in you welcome the stranger. Because anyway, we lead to Jesus, and that is what we've been taught, and that is what the gospel tells us. And
you hear her? I'm going to repeat what she said, or paraphrase it. We are a welcoming country. People come here from around the world to seek a better life. And this man, Garcia, was basically backstabbed by the Trump administration. And are we a welcoming people? I mean, that's the core value of America. Let's let her continue.
I think turning away people who have come here for asylum is one of the most shameful things we are doing right now. Yep. It's un-American.
She said turning away people who are coming to America for asylum is shameful. And I 100% agree with her. America is the melting pot of the world, and it always has been. So Senator Chuck Grassley, your constituents are on you. He's got some balls to be coming out in front of his constituents.
I just want to know, for you as a senator, as my elected senator, is there anything you can do so that we can follow international law better, or just the ideals of our country, to be a place of hope for others, where they can come when they are searching for a home because they have no place else to go.
Everything that we legally under our laws, we can, we welcome refugees, that's legal status. It's the Tell us quiet so I can hear you.
So, Senator Grassley, right now we're not. I mean, right now we're not. That these changes have been taking place, and that's what concerns me.
There's no due process.
It hurts. Yeah.
Okay.
So with laws.
I would welcome refugees and other refugees.
For $1,200 and I just say no, does that stand up? Because he's got an order from the Supreme Court and he's just said no. Yeah. He just said screw it.
I'll be able to answer your question.
You ignored my letter.
Guatemala or El Salvador is an independent country. The president
Speak up, please. We can't hear you.
The president of that country is not subject to our U.S. Supreme Court.
I'm pissed.
We're paying them to keep them down here. We don't have to pay them.
Why are we paying them the houses so they can go down the hole?
The next subject here.
Excuse me, Senator. Senator, excuse me, on that same subject.
Hey!
Excuse me, Senator Grassley, on that same subject. The Constitution, the framers of the Constitution, said that every person, not citizen, every person within the jurisdiction of the United States has due process. And we would would like to know what you, as the people, the Congress, who are supposed to rein in this dictator, what are you going to do about it? These people have been sentenced to life imprisonment in a foreign country with no due process. Our government cannot do anything.
That man right there was 100% right. Anyone who comes to this country, doesn't matter if you're a legal citizen, doesn't matter if you have a green card, doesn't matter if you're purple, green, blue, doesn't matter what race you are, where you come from. Anyone who steps foot in America has due process and has rights. And that is the point that is wrong, that they deported this man. And we're gonna dig down deep, because they actually sent over a Democrat over there to see if they can physically go talk to this man and bring him back. And I have the video to show you. He was completely unsuccessful. I hope to God he's still alive. Let's continue with this town hall.
Why won't you do your job, Senator?
Yeah. Get it. Why? Obeying the Supreme Court. Trump's not obeying the Supreme Court. He just ignores them. Yeah, screw it.
He's doing whatever he wants. I'd be okay with that. He's rolling around allowing it to happen.
Let the Senator answer.
What is a constitutional crisis? What does that consist of? A constitutional crisis exists when you have a president who ignores the Supreme Court. You have a Congress who fails to rein in a third branch of our government.
That's right.
Who is now violating our Constitution. You took an oath. I do solemnly swear or affirm. Do you remember that, sir? Yes, sir. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of office of which I am about to enter, so help me God. Sir, will you act upon your oath?
Yeah, I thought that I was when I answered. I'll wait till the clapping stuff. I thought when I answered this guy's question, I was doing what the Constitution requires. I'm trying to recapture the constitutional authority of Article 1, Section 8, one of the 18 powers of Congress, to regulate interstate and foreign commerce by introducing the bill, which is a bipartisan bill, to make some of the mistakes that Democratic Congresses made in 1963. That's
Congress as a whole.
That's what I'm doing.
Congress as a whole.
Yeah.
Bipartisan has the power to act, to bring
Can you wait till they shut? Quiet.
Congress as a whole, bipartisan, has the power to act to bring the executive branch to heel.
Yes.
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 Now,
And they're not doing it.
introducing a bill, yes, that's one thing. But as a whole, the power of Congress to bring that executive branch to heel when they are behaving the way we're seeing, that power exists within you and your other members of Congress. Do you speak to your other persons in the House of Representatives of your party? Do you communicate with them often? Do you discuss any of this with them? Do you hold any concern that Congress will be the next branch that Trump comes for because he is coming for the judicial?
The only tool that you know the Constitution gives Congress to do in regard to disciplining the executive branch is impeachment.
And you missed that opportunity in his first administration.
Twice.
You had two opportunities for that. That was probably one of the only reasons we're having this situation now.
And what he's done, he's done an impeachable offense.
He ignores the next election.
The House initiates impeachment.
Yeah. Would you remember what I started with? I said that the way I conducted the meeting in Hampton. I was chastised before because I didn't allow anything.
Shit just got real. This is Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen, who went to El Salvador to see about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He went to talk to the president and vice president of El Salvador to see if they can release Abrego Garcia today, and or just to see if he's alive. Then he went in front of the cameras to talk to the press, and this is what the fuck happened.
And our Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Vice President of the United States are lying when they say that Abrego Garcia has been charged with a crime or is part of MS-13. That is a lie. And this is a lie to cover up what they did. They illegally abducted Mr. Abrego Garcia from Maryland and sent him to Sica, which is a notorious prison here in El Salvador. In fact, it's a prison where they say they send the worst of the worst, right? That's where they send the terrorists. Now, the courts of the United States have said there's no evidence to support the charge that he's part of MS-13. So I asked the Vice President whether or not El Salvador has any evidence that he's part of MS-13.
Do they?
And the government of El Salvador has no evidence that he was part of MS-13. Why is El Salvador continuing to hold him in Sica? And his answer was that the Trump administration is paying El Salvador, the government of El Salvador, to keep him in Sica.
Which again, the US is paying $6 million of taxpayer dollars for this prison, but it doesn't stop there.
And I pointed out that neither the government of El Salvador nor the Trump administration has presented evidence to support the claim that he's committed any kind of criminal act. And so why not release Abrego Garcia today?
Yeah.
And he said what President Bukele said the other day at the White House, that El Salvador can't smuggle Mr. Abrego Garcia into the United States. And I said, I'm not asking him to smuggle Mr. Abrego Garcia into the United States. I'm simply asking him to open the door of CICOT and let this innocent man walk out.
Come on.
And I pointed out that the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, has said that the United States would send a plane to El Salvador.
Because why?
And why did she do that? Because
Right.
the Supreme Court of the United States, in a ruling of 9-0, said that the Trump administration has to facilitate his return to the United States.
Here's where the shit gets worse.
So I asked the Vice President if I could meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. And he said, well, you need to make earlier provisions to go visit CICOT. I said, I'm not interested at this moment in taking a tour of CICOT. I just want to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia.
Come on.
He said he was not able to make that happen. I asked, he said he needed a little more time. I asked him if I came back next week, whether I'd be able to see Mr. Abrego Garcia. He said he couldn't promise that either. So I asked him if I could get on the phone, either a video phone or just a phone, and talk to Mr. Abrego Garcia. So I could just ask him how he's doing so I could report back to his family. He said he could not arrange that. He said maybe if the American embassy were to ask, maybe that could happen. So I will certainly ask the American embassy to ask the government of El Salvador to connect us by phone. So we have an unjust situation.
So you're telling me the president and vice president of El Salvador don't have the power to arrange a sit down between a senator and Abrego Garcia? Can't even get him on the phone? Hey, let me tell you something. I fear the worst has happened to Abrego Garcia. I fear that this man is no longer with us. I hope that I'm fucking wrong, but something ain't fucking right.
Okay, so you see, the people of America want this man to be brought back because it's against our values. Not only that, we sent over politicians to go get the guy or even go talk to him, and they were unsuccessful. Now, here's how you know he's gonna be a political pawn, because at the end of it, the administration says he'll never be back in America. He'll never be a father in Maryland, which is really disturbing to that lady and her kids. And he's now in El Salvador. In fact, when he first came over here in '99, he came over here as an asylum seeker. And the reason why he didn't want to ever go back to El Salvador was because he was afraid he would ever be killed. And then 25 years later, that ends up happening. I hope to God this man's alive, and I hope to God we can bring him back to this country and set an example, because in America we never leave our people behind. We've been like that since World War II, and possibly way before that, and all the wars that we have fought. Listen to the Trump administration. As they say, he will never return. What do you guys think? Write in the comments below, and yeah, hopefully this man comes back alive.
If he ever ends up back in the United States, he would immediately be deported again. Nothing will change the fact that Abrego Garcia will never be a Maryland father. He will never live in the United States of America again.